couple months ago, I was doing some research on some local hiking spots, and I discovered one of the coolest archaeological sites I'd ever seen, and I have never heard of it before. The discovery led me to ask myself a very important question. Have I ever seen a 15 million year old fossil in front of my own two eyes? Hi, my name's Katie, and I'm an avid enjoyer of all things outside, whether it be nature, history, geology, geography, really the whole nine yards. Anything that'll get me going for an adventure, right? So today, we'll be going for a quest to find the remnants of something that we're not so used to seeing in North America anymore. Somewhere quite remote that is usually only accessible by boat. A lot of people, including myself, had no idea what the landscape of Washington actually looks like until seeing it for themselves. The first time I came here was by train, and the look on my face as we came out of the Cascade Mountains, I thought I was in Monument Valley or the Grand Canyon. Now see, I'm a born and raised West Coast girly, so I'm no stranger to vast mountain ranges and, dense rainforest, beaches, the whole nine yards. But Eastern Washington's landscape has had me completely, utterly obsessed and fascinated. So, today's adventure is locating the site of a 15 million year old rhinoceros that met quite the unfortunate fate here. During that time, a volcanic eruption occurred which sent molten hot lava into a little lake bed, where just so happened to be our little rhino friend was hanging around. When the water and lava collided with another, it formed a layer of rock around the rhino's body called basalt, which perfectly preserved a mold of it. By the early 1930s, erosion had worn into the area, which revealed the entrance of the cave after millions and millions of years. The cave was eventually discovered when two adventurous couples from Seattle came to the area in search for petrified wood. They had stumbled upon the cave, which appeared to be suspiciously animal-shaped. Below the cave's entrance, they found a bunch of bone fragments, including the partial remains of the animal's jaw. They sent the remains to a local paleontologist, who then enlisted the help from the California Institute of Technology to actually identify them. Almost a decade later, in the 1940s, a research team from California scaled down the cliff face to create a plaster mold of the cave, which you can go see on display at Seattle's Burke Museum. So come along with myself and my husband and dog as we go explore the Rhino Cave.
Currently, we are heading we are heading west from Spokane, about 109 miles, probably around northwest of Spokane. We got about 22 miles to go. We are
heading to Blue Lake to take a look at something that I have been utterly fascinated about and obsessed with for the last month.
Small little town here. I used to work out here a little bit, mostly with the Washington Eastern Railroad. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty much flat lands out here. Not a lot going on, not a lot of...
Well, you think there's not a lot going on.
Yeah, you don't think there's a lot going on. But
most people don't know what's actually going on here.
It has its own a little bit of beauty, I guess, in itself. So
I know it's hard to see on camera, but some really amazing rock formations.
So at this point, we were getting really close to our destination. This is just due south of Coulee City, Washington. Apparently there's a giant big dam somewhere up that river, which is pretty cool. But as you can see, the landscape is definitely getting more and more carved out and interesting for sure.
Hard to see, but right below basically the side of this road here, we have this massive canyon. I mean, oh my God. That is so cool. It's like our own little version of the Grand Canyon, huh?
Yep. Wow, look at that.
So we are entering. Oh, wow. Okay. I was just saying to Josh that you can just sort of imagine how powerful the water would have been 20-odd thousand years ago during the last ice age to have carved out this little canyon. I mean, I say little, but in the grand scheme of things,
It's a couple miles wide. Finally made it 109 miles west of Spokane. Perfect little cul-de-sac parking here for any type of vehicle you need. And it looks like that's the state park behind us, which is closed, unfortunately, for the season. So shout out to the owner, TJ, who's very kind,
He's
very
awesome.
caring. Met our dog, Maya, and he helped us out guiding us where we need to park, where we need to hike, where the private property is at. So
Survival tips with Josh.
survival tips with Josh. Road behind us that you just walk down, and eventually you will get to this actual maintained state trail with the green gate. And then that's when you can start walking west on the trail, and that's what we're doing now.
I feel like I should be very clear that we obviously do not endorse crossing on any sort of private property. And for the record, we did not cross any lines of private property. It is very possible to reach the cave without going on anyone's land. So as long as you're safe and vigilant and do your research, you should be fine. Our microphones died right here for some reason, but I'm just kind of pointing out the route that we have to do to get along this little cove here to access the cave. It's honestly not like hugging a cliff face. We were able to do it with a dog. That being said, getting the dog down the 10-foot drop after this point, that was a whole different story. So after about 30 minutes of back and forth debating with Josh on whether we'd be able to even get down there with the dog, we were able to do it safely, of course, but this is the 10-foot drop I'm talking about. For a person, it's really no biggie at all. We just took our bags and threw them down, but a dog is a different story. Coming back this way was way harder. I ended up being the one that had to boost Maya and push her up and lift her to Josh, and yeah, that wasn't easy.
All right, we made it down in one piece. Here we are. You know, that drop is only 10 feet, but sure feels like 100. All right, so now we're on this little trail here. There goes Maya. I don't fucking understand. I wish I had 4 legs sometimes. But yeah, we're on our way down. Here we go.
Not sketchy at all, eh?
Oh yeah. We're getting there. I don't know, halfway there. We're moving. It goes pretty quick, but this is where we have to not focus on my finger. But that's where you need to stay on top of. So that's definitely like a almost 45-degree angle right there, more of like maybe 35 degrees. So yeah, this hike is not for the faint-hearted. Oh, incredible.
We are at our own private lagoon.
Oh, Maya's happy now.
Swimming in November. All right, you see the signs?
So this is the wall that you have to climb, and let me tell you, this almost killed me. That is why I am heaving and dead quiet for the rest of the footage, because oh my god, my poor calves.
So I have a photo on how do we traverse this part.
So as a comparison, how small Caitlin is, and we are beat. Wow, this is not for the faint of heart to do this. Beautiful sunset though. There's the arrow sign. There are the 2 glory holes. Oh man. But yeah, look at this. Look at that shot behind us. It's absolutely incredible. We have about an hour and a half to get back down to the car before it gets too dark, but going back down is the easy part, really.
Yeah, funny you say that, Josh. We didn't get any footage of us coming down. I was on my butt the whole time, so I'm kind of glad that's not on the internet forever. But yeah, I butt scooted the whole way down the cliff.
My friends, you are looking inside of a 15 million year old fossil. So just to put things in perspective, there's Josh and Maya. I managed to kind of death climb all the way up here. This smaller, it's like a perfect cylinder. You can see that's from a log, probably from the same time as the rhino. What happened to this poor little rhino guy? He or she or they was caught in molten hot lava, which rapidly cooled down when it contacted the water from the flooding, which forms this really cool looking rock called basalt. And basalt's only formed when lava cools, I think, like instantly or at a very specific temperature. I don't really know how the rhino died. He probably got killed during the floodwaters. I saw another article the other day saying he could have died from the toxic poisonous gas that the lava was producing. But what we do know is that he somehow got up in here and made it a pain for everyone 15 million years later to go see him. So
I feel like you can kind of make out the wrinkles almost of what skin would have been, but it's probably just the rock. But you know what I mean. Almost looks like rhino skin, right? So that's where his right foot would have been. I keep saying his, I don't know. And then this would have been his front left paw, right paw, not a paw, it's a freaking rhino. That's where its head would have been. And that smaller hole you see is where its horn was. But you can really picture our little friends here. You can picture perfectly how he was. For reference, I'm 5'7". I'm 129 pounds. I fit in here no problem. It's about, these ancient rhinos were about 4 feet tall. So not very big at all, but I think Joshy Poo should be able to get in here. This is us. We're coming back to the car. My butt is in immense pain after scaling the whole cliffside back down on my butt. Let me tell you, I don't recommend that. It still hurts today. Will say I did have a bit of a emotional moment back in the cave. It was surreal.
All right. What you all been waiting for? Maybe I keep this in the video.
So this is actually a bagel review video.
Couple notes. If anybody else wants to do it, let somebody know where you're going, and let them know when you come out. What? Why are you always interrupting me?
I need to text my mom.
It is steep.
Yeah.
A lot of loose rock. If you don't pay attention, you could really find yourself in a really bad situation. For a minute there, actually, we almost backed out.
Yeah.
We were more concerned about our safety.
When we were coming back, Josh climbed that 10-foot climb first, and then he sat at the top, and I had to get Maya to run up as much as she could and then carry her with momentum. It was pretty dangerous. Like, and then, you know, giant cliff right behind me, so she could have totally taken me out. But it's definitely worth the trip here to get to connect with something so historic and so old, and something to learn about, right? And enjoy your backyard.
Till next time. Yeah.